We don't often think of trees for dry climate having beautiful autumn colours. We think the autumn foliage trees are much more likely to be found in the Blue Mountains or in the Dandenongs in Melbourne. But one tree which is really superb for its colour is this North American smoke bush, Cotinus obovata. It grows in the sugar maple forests in the northeast of the United States. Now it's slow growing here because I haven't watered it more than about 3 times in the last 7 years. But as you can see, it gets this really beautiful pink and orange and red autumn colour. It is a good flowering plant too, because you get the smoke bush flowers in the spring and they go on into the summer. The joy of this tree is in its autumn colour. This is a purple leaf form of the European smoke bush, Cotinus codgigria, and it's one called royal purple. It's only got in a small space here, and we want to keep the plant quite narrow in a sense. So we pollard it. And pollarding it is an ancient way of managing trees, which in my village when I came, my uncle had a little willow grove, and he used to pollard that tree. It's about this sort of height, and he'd make these long thin stems which he then cut off and dry and use as stakes in the nursery. We don't do that with this here. We just want to get this upright growth, and because it is very, very vigorous, you can see even though it's quite late autumn, these leaves at the top have still got lots and lots of life in them. And if you see the light coming through, you see the veins and the red edges. If it's not pollarded, by midsummer you get the leaves start to look a bit dull, as you can see these bottom ones are. We cut it down every winter to, as you can see in here, cut it down to probably about 60, 70 centimetres tall. And then we get this effect. Now this is one of the parents, this is one of the plants crossed with Cotinus obovata, which is the American species, which gives us the next plant we're going to look at, which is Cotinus grace. Cotinus grace is a child of the American species crossed with the European species. And although when it's young it isn't very graceful at all, later on it makes a very, very beautiful tree. You can see when it's young it does send out these long, rather spindly arms, but we'll prune that back in the winter and shape the tree up. But its glory is this incredibly beautiful autumn foliage, and in the spring and summer for about 2 months it is full of a cloud of it's almost a purple smoke flowers. It is one of the most beautiful trees then. It'll eventually grow 30 feet tall and about 20 feet wide. I haven't seen a tree that big yet in Australia because it's quite new. It's only been released in Australia about 10 years. And we've had this in the garden maybe 8 or 9 years. And it's some 5 metres tall by as much as across.